Anyway, so witches accusation conference. I mean, I was talking about it on Twitter a couple of days ago, and one funny tweet that came up: will they invite witches as well? I don't know how you're going to tell if someone is a witch or not. But really, what is informing this conference?
We have approximately 600 to 7 have been accused of being witches, and they have had to flee from their homes to seek refuge in these witch camps. Like yesterday, I was told that the Gambaga witch camp is over 200 years old. Now, the women are very vulnerable. Increasingly, we have a situation where pastors and other religious groups and traditional practitioners, healers, are also accusing women, principally women, of being witches, and they are subjected to all manner of like torture, stigmatization. Some of them are beaten and all sorts. So the women become very vulnerable. In the witch camps, for instance, we've documented data on 6 witch camps. What is the profile of a typical woman in the witch camp? Over 70 years old, poor, and then also we have a situation where we have a woman. So when we get this profile, we realize that older and elderly women are being stigmatized and discriminated against, and they are more likely to be accused of witchcraft. They become very vulnerable. The situation of the witch camps, access to water, electricity, and even the ability to even feed becomes an issue. So the Ministry of Gender, our mandate is to protect vulnerable persons, and for this year, for the 16 days of activism, we are focusing on the very vulnerable, being women who have been accused of witchcraft.
Okay, so who is attending this conference?
Yes, we have some of the women who have been accused of being witches to come and tell us their story. What were the circumstances and how have they lived? Some of them also have grandchildren and children who live with them in the witch camp. We also have some of the operators of the witch camps, and then we also have invited some religious groups and traditional healers. And we have some people from the diplomatic corps, from civil society, other sector ministries. So it's a whole cross-section. We are raising the level of dialogue to a national discussion on accusation of women, accusation of witchcraft, and how that is specifically targeted to women, and that how that reduces and exposes women to all sorts of vulnerabilities, and how it adversely affects their livelihoods and then even their well-being. What I've said is that throughout the world, there's no country where we have witch camps. It is only in Ghana, and it's a gross indictment on our otherwise perfect human rights record. And that is why we picked the 10th of December, Wednesday, as governments to have this national discussion and dialogue, because it's really a blot on our perfect record of human rights. And everywhere you go, this is the question that is raised. I was in Geneva about a month or two ago to defend Ghana's record on the extent to which we have protected the rights of women. And for over 30 minutes, 25 experts, the panel of experts, were asking me, how can you have witch camps existing in your country and you have a constitution which protects people? Are you not discriminating? And I had to try to defend that. So I believe that at the national level, let's have this dialogue and let's take a decision on accusation of witchcraft, principally against women, which is not right.
Okay, I will talk about what you hope to achieve when we begin to, talk about this. It is a menace, because it's not the first time anybody's talking about the accusations. If you mentioned Gambaga, the women there, I've seen reports there. Our reporters have been to Gambaga, and it is very, very dehumanizing. It's not the first time we've seen a witchcraft. We've seen prayer camps. Yes. In fact, in the central region alone, you can count several when you're going to Cape Coast. Prayer camps on the road. Recently, Anas did something. He had an expose, I think somewhere last year, and you were involved in that particular one.
The Brong
one.
Yes.
How far have we gone, in this fight, even before this conference comes up?
Well, how far have we gone? Attempts have been made. Interventions have been made. I mean, I first heard and supported Parliament, that's women in Parliament, as far as 1997. I know FIDA also in 1994 to 96 also did some work with support from the UNDP. So several organizations have tried to make interventions. One successful one has been led by ActionAid over the past few years, and a network of civil society groups and community-based groups. And the strategy has been to reintegrate the women. So, because the problem is that once you're accused of being a witch and you run to the witch camp, you stay there, you cannot go back to your community because you've been ostracized. If you attempt to go, you'll be lynched, you'll be killed. But ActionAid and Sontaba and several other community-based organizations in the northern region have been able to successfully engage with traditional leaders, with community leaders, and 199 women have gone back and they've reintegrated. There's also humanitarian support. So Her Excellency Lord Dina Mahama is setting up a vocational institute in Gambaga to provide some employment and also education for that community. Apart from that, the government under our social protection program has taken up the immediate humanitarian support and intervention. So some of them are on the LEAP, the cash transfer. Others are also on national health insurance. We are currently enrolling and registering so that we can get all of them on LEAP, and then once they're on LEAP, they get access to healthcare through the national health insurance. We are in the process of closing down one of the witch camps. That will be a week today on the 15th of December.
Where?
And in Bunyasi.
Okay.
I may not pronounce it properly, I'm sorry. And with this, we'll also be providing support under the Less Debt Social Protection Program. We're giving them corn mills and other implements, and they'll be trained so that at least even as they reintegrate, then they will have some livelihood, and then even the community from where they have left will also have that support. So this is what is happening. There's actually a roadmap, and so we're progressively implementing that roadmap. It's coordinated by ActionAid and then also government, including DOFSU, Department of Gender, Social Welfare, and the civil society groups. So it's working well. I must also mention the Presbyterian Church. So it's a go home project. So these are some of the interventions that have been made.
Now let's talk about the pastors.
Yes.
Okay. I'm not sure of the pastors you've invited to this event, but I want to believe that there will be names and the Kumchacha.
Yes, we've invited Pastor Obinim and the Kumchacha, the Pentecostal Council. Yesterday we were with Dr. Apostle Onyina, who actually has his PhD thesis was on this issue, and he's actually written a book on it, and that is actually one of the only documented and researched books on witchcraft in Ghana. IBIS is also supporting us. IBIS is also supporting us. We'll be there on Wednesday. They are also providing some support for the conference. They will also be making a statement. And then also the Ministry of Chieftaincy and Traditional Affairs, of course, is a natural ally and a partner in this. We also have a committee of traditional leaders in Northern Region who are also supporting this process.
Now, for some of these pastors, the more you're able to identify witches in whoever comes to your church's family, the popular you become. And so you're assured that the next Sunday or the next Wednesday or whichever day you will assemble your congregation, it will grow. Yes. So they base all this on popularity, unfortunately. So if I go to a pastor with a headache, for instance, the likelihood of the pastor fingering my mother as the cause of my headache is very high. Now, how do you think this conference will change the attitudes of pastors?
We have one speaker, for instance, Professor Kenneth Tefua, who's had a personal experience and also who has some knowledge and experience in this area. We wanted to deepen their understanding of the issues beyond the religious belief and all that. We want them to understand and appreciate how the woman feels, what the woman is subjected to, and the fact that some of this is actually unlawful. And for us to have a discussion, we want to also hear their perspective, their religious perspective of this issue, and how we can work. I don't have the capacity, nobody has the capacity to determine whether witchcraft exists or not. And that is not what we are discussing at all. What we are looking at is the social impact on a woman who has been accused and how she is treated, or let's say maltreated, tortured, beaten up, chained, caned,
sometimes on television, because some of these churches have actually bought airtime on TV, and you see how women are maltreated on Saturday mornings on TV.
Yes. So this is what we want to discuss. We want to reflect, look at all these, and then ask, is this what we should do? Is this what Christianity is all about? For our African traditional religion, is this what it's all about? Is this what love your neighbor as yourself is all about? So this is what we want to have a national discussion.
You think you can go anywhere with this?
Yes, we can. In fact, a lot has been done. Like I said, I was a young lawyer when I was introduced to this. And maybe over the past 20 years, we actually have one camp being closed with the support of the community. And we actually have 199 who have been able to go back to live with their community. That is very, very good, great progress over a decade or two. And we're very grateful for the support, especially of the communities in the northern region and even the chiefs who are looking after these camps. They've been very supportive and been very, very helpful. And we can only go further with this. And I believe having a conference at this high national level will also help. It's very, very important.
Okay, so it is happening at the conference center on Wednesday?
On Wednesday.
What time does it start?
It starts at 9 o'clock.
And everybody can just come?
Yes, those interested can come. We have invited, but if you want to come, you have a contribution to make, please head to the International Conference Center.
Okay. Now, you talked earlier about integration.
Yes.
How has it been for these women?
It's been good. That is a whole process, and it's sensitive.
You know, in our local parlance, they say that before, they say about that. Oh, kids will be now.
Or they be so
yes. How are the communities taking them? I mean,
yes,
how are they receiving them?
It's been successful. Of course, we've had a few that have not, and I'm sure the civil society groups and Action Aid can speak to that. But so far, it has been successful. Where we have almost 200. It's over a period of time. Of course, over since 2010, this started. So it's been 3 to 4 years, almost 4 years. And to have almost 200 over this period of 4 years, I think is is amazing that it's happening, because we've been trying to grapple with it, and it's been a challenge.
And how do you sustain the discussion? I mean, it wouldn't be a 9-day affair.
No.
But after Wednesday, then
we'll still have engagements with the stakeholders, with the religious groups, with the traditional groups, and then also with the communities. But we should not forget the women themselves who are adversely affected. So it's about empowering them and making sure.
Are their stories worrying?
Their stories are worrying. Their stories are worrying.
It would be nice to hear them on Wednesday.
Yes, and would invite TV3 to interview some of them. Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah. I think it
will be nice to have them. Is it possible to have them on NewDay?
Yes, we can get them on
arrange
NewDay.
That on NewDay.
Yes.
That would be wonderful. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
the first time I heard it, I was which is Accusation Confernce.
Yes.
But I think it's an interesting heading you've given to it. Anyway, hopefully these pastors will turn up.
Yes.
And engage. Society.
We're asking the pastors to come. We have invited them. All of them, so we're expecting them to come.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you,
Minister for Agenda and Social Protection. You're playing that role very well. Social protection, protecting the women.
Well, yeah,
who've been accused of being witches.
We have to.
Yeah. All right, we're taking a break. We'll come back shortly. Before we go, you're a lawyer.
Yes.
You've been doing a lot of work for women. Yes. Can a man be raped?
A man can be raped.
Is it common in Ghana?
Not that I know. I haven't had any report. We've advocated for the law on rape to be gender neutral, because our law is not gender neutral. It's very specific on penetration or the female sexual organ. In a country like Botswana, it's penetration of any opening of the body without consent. So then a man can be raped. Okay. But as to whether a woman can rape a man, if we go by the Botswana definition, yes, a woman can rape a man, because it's penetration of any penetration with any object of any opening. So it could be the mouth, it could be the anal, it could be the front.
So our laws doesn't protect our men enough.
Our law doesn't protect our men in that regard.
Okay.
Yes, but if only they would admit that they are raped sometimes. Yeah, I mean, like if only, but I haven't heard any such case.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Anoyele.